Today we are going to study about research paper, thesis, and dissertation. So basically, research is an essential ingredient of all fields of study as well as all professions. Whether you are an academician or professional working in industry, you need to involve yourself in research with a view to equip yourself better in your chosen field. So basically, any systematic investigation towards increasing the sum of knowledge can be termed as research. See, when someone has done the work and when you are actually reworking on it, you are trying to find out something new or you want to add on something new in that particular work, that is termed as research. Re means again, means you split the word. Re means again, and search means you are finding out something when something has already been done and you are again reworking on it to give something new to that particular field or the society. That becomes your research. Now basically, there are the three things that falls into this category. The first one is your research paper. It's basically an organized analysis of subject written mainly to record and disseminate information or knowledge or to present a point of view on a selected topic is your research paper. Then is your dissertation. It is longer than the research paper. A dissertation is longer than a research paper and it arises out of the study, research and analysis undertaken in a semester or a term. Hence, it is also known as a term paper. So, it's basically a part of your course where you have to do a kind of a research and then you have to take it. You have to bring it down in a form of a document, and that is known as your term paper or a dissertation. Then is your thesis. A thesis is longer than a dissertation. It may span over a period of 2 to 5 years, or it may extend beyond 5 years also. It is basically an extensive research on a particular topic in the form of a thorough analysis, supported adequately by statistical data, survey findings, experimental results, conclusions, etc. So, this is a research paper. In layman's language, a research paper is short in length, dissertation is longer than the research paper, and thesis is the longest of all. Now let's focus on the research paper and its structure. So research paper is a form of expository discourse. Expository here means detailed, or you can say where you give a detailed explanation of something. So it's basically detailed discourse. It may be written on any topic. It could be your scientific, technical, social, or culture. It totally depends on the interest of the research paper writer. And it is objective in nature, and the presentation of information is accurate, concise, and without ambiguity. All the features of technical communications uh, falls into this category. Whenever you write any technical document or any formal document, you have to follow all these 7 C's of communication. Means it has to be very accurate, it should be precise, it should be without ambiguity, it should be comprehensive, it should be courteous, correct, and to the point. Now it contains graphs, images, tables, scientific, technical, and specialized vocabulary. Since research paper is not written for a layman person, it is written for scientific people or for the people those who are related to that particular field. So it includes a specialized vocabulary. Now let us discuss the structure of a research paper. So in the structure first comes the title. The title of a research paper may be defined as the fewest possible words that adequately describe the content of the paper. And the title of a paper is neither too long nor too short. So It is direct. We should not use any abbreviations in this. Next comes the author and the addresses. So name of the in this section, the name of the author and their mailing address comes, and there can be one author, there can be two author, there can be three author. So all these three authors we need to mention their mailing address. Next comes the abstract. Abstract enables the readers to identify the basic content, what is discussed in the paper. It uh, it helps the reader to analyze the paper quickly and accurately in order to determine its relevance to their interest. Also, many papers or the research papers, they put the abstract to meet the requirement of the abstracting journals. So in journal, it is around 200 to 50 words. 200 to sometimes 300 also. This is a limit. And after abstract, we have keywords. We put certain keywords in the after the abstract. These are the terminologies that you have used in your research paper. And why we use the keywords? Because they helps in searching, researching or your research paper when typed online. For example, you have used the keyword uh, technical, and the another keyword that you have used is grapevine. Now, whenever any person who type these technical or grapevine in the search box, your paper will appear. So this helps in basic, the keywords helps in searching the research paper. It's become easier for the person to search it. Next comes the introduction. It highlights the nature, scope and significance of the problem investigated. Three components: the nature, scope and significance of the problem investigated. The purpose of this introduction is to supply the sufficient background of your research paper. Then comes the literature survey. A literature survey, or you can say it is a literature review. It is a comprehensive summary of your previous research on a topic. You have chosen any topic, so in that case what you have to do is you have to find out what research have already been done on that particular topic. So researchers, they survey scholarly articles, they survey books, they survey magazines and other resources relevant to particular area of research. And it should enumerate, describe, summarize, and clarify the previous research. Researchers should read all these things, find out what have been like till now, what have been done in this particular area, and how you are going to explore this particular area in a different way, how you can add new thing in a different way. So literature survey is till now what has been done on a particular topic, and what extra or what creativity, what new thing you are adding in your research paper. Like a thin line difference should be given in this. Next is your methodology section. This section should answer two questions. The first one is, how was the data collected or generated, and how was it analyzed? Okay, this section should answer these two questions. and it's basically used to describe the experimental design, experimental technique, or theoretical derivation. What process or procedures have been followed to collect the data, or what samples have been taken to reach the result. Next is your result section. The result section, it forms the core of your paper. Everyone wants to know what is the result of the research you have shown. The result can be given in your textual form. You can give it in text form. You can give in your tabular form or in an illustration form. It presents your findings clearly and leads towards the conclusion. Next is your discussion section, and in this section the researcher has to interpret the findings in a logical, consistent arguments. You have generated a result, so whatever the result has been generated, you need to discuss that in the discussion section. There may be subheadings in the sections. You cannot just write the discussion and then you give the general things. No, a technical paper should have a proper subheadings also as per the requirement of your paper. Next is the conclusion. This summarizes. Conclusions comes in the end. So what's the role of this conclusion is, it summarizes whatever has been discussed in the paper. So this summarizes the main points. It should stem directly from the data presented. Whatever data has been presented or whatever the result has been analyzed, that needs to be, next conclusion comes from there only. Next is your acknowledgement section, and it's very important section. It's basically a kind of a thank you note. There is no a right or wrong way how you have to write acknowledgements. So acknowledgements is any kind of a significant help you have received from any individual, or any kind of a source or special equipment or the material you have gone through. You need to acknowledge that thing. You need to thank the things. So, or whosoever has helped you in writing your research paper, or helps or motivate you while writing the research paper, needs to be thanked in this particular section. It may be your friends. The first comes the supervisor, then your friends, your colleagues, or any staff that need that of like that those special person occupies a special place in this section. And the last but very important section is your references. Here in this you have to cite the work which you have referred in your research paper. You can visit any IEEE site to get the format and the samples for references. For your convenience, I'll tell you the basic format, how you have to use, like how you have to cite a work in this section. For example, we have an author, he has written a book. So how you have to cite it? So the first thing is, for example, we have an author. We reverse the name of an author. So Papin is the surname, then Ronald E is the first name. So Ronald E. This is the name. So we have reversed the name, Papin, then comma, then Ronald E. The name of the work is Literature of Satire in the 20th century. So this is the name of the work. We write in the cursive, then comes the full stop. Then is the place where the work has been published. So the place is Lewiston. Then put colon, name of a press, publication house, Edwin Mellon Press, put comma and the year of publication. This is the very basic format. You use while referencing. So here what we have done is we have reversed the name of an author, then we have put the work, then the place, publication and year. Same way, it's not always that you have one author. The work may be written by two authors, so in that case only the first name, the first author's name is reversed and rest of the author's name is as it is. Now let's see how you have to cite. If you have to you have taken a few line or one or two line from the text, so how you have to do the in-text citation. Let's see. In-text citation, it means in the work itself. This is references, you put it at the end and then you write down the name of a work and the publications. But when you are writing it in the text, and how you have to cite it. For example, the line is pH balance is critical in body fluid crisis control. For example, you have taken this line as it is from the text. So you need to mention the source from where you have taken it here itself. So what you will do, you will mention the name of an author. For example, the name of the author is Papin and the other author is Robert. So these are the author. For example, 26 is the page number from where you have taken it. So you'll mention the page number. So from this, the reader will come to know okay, this particular line you have taken from this or these author's book, which and this line appears on the page number 26. So the structure, these are the structure of a research paper. These are the major components that needs to be included in it. That is your title, author's name and their addresses. Then you have to write down this abstract, that is the basic content in the least possible words, that is from 250 to 300 words, or you can say the 3% of the entire paper. Then in the introduction you need to mention the nature, scope and significance of the problem, or you give the background study. Then in literature survey is you survey the work which has been done by the other authors, you compile it and then you present it in this section. That shows that your work is different, like it's the one step ahead of these work. That in the material section and the methodology section you need to show from like how you have collected the data and how you have analyzed it. And one more thing, that it is always direct, precise and always written in the past tense. In the results sections, basically the like the crux of your research, that is you whatever you have done, your research, your results has to be mentioned over here. Then the discussion, the result follows the discussion, whatever you want to discuss with the subtopics or subheadings you need to discuss over here. Conclusion summarizes the main points, your results and the discussions. Acknowledgement sections, you write the thank you note for all those persons or your colleagues who has helped you in writing a research paper. And references is the work that you have referred for writing your research paper comes in this section. And the same way you have structure of the dissertation and thesis, it remains the same. The only thing is the acknowledgement is after your title page, and here you have added the appendices. Appendices is basically the information which you cannot include in the main section of your thesis, but that is important, so you put it in the you put it at the end of the uh, your thesis or dissertation after the references. So basically you can add like appendix A or appendix B. For example, you have collected that data for in the all the tables and the questionnaires can be put in the appendices instead of giving in the main text of your thesis, because it obstructs the free flow of your idea in that. So to avoid that obstructions, you give the entire information, the extra information which is necessary, which is not like unnecessary thing, which is necessary, but you are putting it at the end of the things. The rest of the things remains the same. Now there I'll show you the comparison between the research paper, dissertation and thesis on the basis of objective, the length, the style and evaluation. See, all these are interconnected. It's basically a kind of a research only. The objective may be a little bit different, length is different, but the focus is that you give your own creativity, your own idea, you research on a particular topic and give a new thing to the particular branch or to the society. So when you talk about the objective, research paper is basically presenting an organized analysis of research work in a journal specific to a particular field. Whereas on the dissertation, you are doing it as it's basically again a research work, but here time limit is like you have few months or one term or one semester, because it is a part of your course. On the other hand, thesis is basically a kind of a research which you do it to get a doctoral degree, or it's kind of a doctoral research which spends from over 2 to 5, it may be 2 year, 5 year, it can go beyond that also, depend on the work of the um, researcher. Then if we discuss on the basis of the length, research paper may be from 3 to 10 pages. It may be like, it's not restricted to only 10 pages, it may be 11, but it is comparatively shorter than your dissertation and thesis. Dissertation may be like 30, 50, or it may be more than that also. But when we compare the research paper, dissertation, thesis is the longest among the three. And when we talk about the style, all these three are formal and objective. They are we need to document it properly, we need to cite them properly, and all these three should be objective. And like on the basis of evaluation, your research paper is evaluated by the editor of a specific journal, because you send a research paper to get it published in a journal. So it is evaluated by the editor. Dissertation, since it is related to your course, it is evaluated by your guide, and thesis is evaluated by the guide as well as your external examiners. So this is how you basically compare the research paper, dissertation and thesis. Now, the most important part of your thesis and dissertation is the abstract. It's very important to understand how to write an abstract and what actually the abstract is. See, you whenever you have to write a abstract, you need to understand it's basically the crux of your entire research. What you is basically a distillation of your thesis. Your thesis is of your, for example, 150 pages or 200 pages. So you can, the abstract is you extract the entire thing from that, and then you present it in a form of a short paragraph. Like 3% of your thesis is your abstract. A concise description of your problem address, the method, result and conclusion, entire thing is given in the abstract, because all the readers basically read the abstract and then they analyze the quality of your research paper. It enables the readers to identify the basic content of a document quickly and accurately in order to determine its relevance, and it's generally written after the paper is prepared. Once you prepare a paper, you go through the entire thing and then you prepare the abstract. Like, I'll explain you the steps how you have to prepare it. See, what you have to do is you read the introductory paragraph to identify the objective, because in abstract you need to mention the objective too. Then you scan your summary and conclusion, and then you note down the major findings of your study. Then you read the entire text for information and methodology adopted, data and other vital information that you have included in your paper or thesis. Then you prepare a rough draft of all the things that you have gone through, and then trim your draft to get the required size, because there is a constraint of like writing abstract to like 250 to 300 words only. So you have to um, compress the entire work of yours into this 250 to 300 words. And after abstract, you have to provide the keywords, which actually helps the readers in finding your research paper through your keywords. This is a sample of a research paper. Say this is a title, the title of a research paper, then the name of the authors and their mailing address is given here. See, this is how you have written the abstract. Then you have given the keywords, introduction, then the literature review, like you have concerned how many books, the research articles you have, like you have to include all those that you have gone through while preparing, while studying that particular topic. Then you have to give the discussions with the proper headings, I must say the methodologies and everything that you have adopted uh, should come over here. Then comes your results and your discussion. Then comes your conclusion. Whatever you have done in your research paper should be concluded. And then the references. Every research like journal, they have their own way of referencing or citing an article, so they provide you. So in general, I recommend you to follow the standard citation formats that is universally accepted. And I hope you like these slides.